Welcome to Get Celebritized. I'm your host, Araya McGarry, and this is where we help you learn how to earn more, live a big, wonderful, fantastic life on purpose, and how to give back more. If you want to have that extra goodness in your life that's overflowing so you can share it with people and nonprofits, charities, causes that are important to you. So we talk all things about that and maybe what has possibly stopped some of my guests and how they got through it, how they didn't get stopped. And today I have a really fun guest, somebody that I met on an app that's relatively new called the Owl app, where you can call people on the phone. Imagine that. The Owl app is OWWLL, and you can meet cool people. Use the code Araya, my first name, get a $10 coupon to call people. And this amazing young man is one of the talented artists that I met on this app. And his name is Daniel Mock. He's an American versatile singer, songwriter, guitarist, country, southern rock, gospel, blues, R&B, and such an amazing young man. He's got a voice that just drew me in, and he's going to sing for us today as well. He's got some new songs out, and he has over 390,000 followers over on TikTok, so he should. Won't be long before he's over 1 million. Let me bring him to the stage right now, none other than Daniel Mock. Get up here. Welcome to the show.
Howdy. You doing all right?
I'm doing great. Now that you're here, your mic's working, I can hear your beautiful velvety voice, and so can my audience, because they are going to love you.
Well, thank you. It's definitely an honor to be here today.
Well, the honor is right back from me to you. Well, let's get right into it. You're sitting there and you have part-time residents like in Nashville, you're in Alabama, you got the guitar right over your lap. We know that you're an amazing musician, can sing, and they're going to hear your voice in just a minute. But you were kind of a sensation over on TikTok. So tell the viewers and the listeners who you are and what you're doing right now in the music world.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Daniel Mock, 24 years old, originally from Andalusia, Alabama, now going back and forth between Nashville, Tennessee, and Alabama. And basically, I started my run in 2019 on TikTok, kind of like between when COVID hit. I'd released a country remix to Keith Sweat, Nobody, and it kind of blew up overnight. I wasn't expecting it. I woke up.
What is that? What did you? All right, talk to me. For those of us that weren't totally on TikTok back then, what was that? A remake or a cover that you did?
Yes, ma'am. It was a cover remix that I did. I'm
planning
on. Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Everybody get a follow. I'm gonna put your stuff up. Daniel Mock Music.
I wanna taste you, I wanna please you, I wanna show you, baby, that I need you. I want your body to the very last drop. I want you to holler when you want me to stop. Who can love you like me? Nobody. Who can do it like me? Nobody. No. Who can do it all night long? Nobody, baby.
That's beautiful. When did
Thank
you
you.
start singing and playing the guitar?
I started back, I want to say, in the middle of 2014. I started my 8th grade year, started out on a little bit of electric, and then whenever I got to my 9th grade year, I joined the FFA String Band of my high school, Strine High School. I was under the supervision of Karen McGlynn. She was the teacher and director for the FFA String Band, where we'd go do competitions. They'd host every year, and I kind of done that through my freshman to my junior year. And that's kind of when music kind of really impacted my life a little bit, because that's when I got behind the guitar and started learning. It was an amazing experience. She's actually the one who taught me a lot that I needed to learn when I first started out.
I love that. Did you take lessons before that, or like when I talk to a lot of the singers on my show, it's like, well, I started singing at 4, I was in church or whatever. It was that early time they just wanted to sing. Are you saying you didn't even start until 8th grade?
I mean, when it comes to playing guitar with that, but singing wise, I've been doing it. I'd say I kind of took a more professional take of it, to be more serious about it once I hit 16, because that's when it heavily impacted my life. And I think that's about the right time that it needed to come in to do that for me. But when it comes to singing wise, now I could hear a song on the radio. I remember being just a little young, and that song Brad Paisley come out, Whiskey Lullaby, and that was the first song that actually done it for me, to put me into loving music, because it was the amount of emotions, because that's the type of music that I kind of relate to and I grab more of hold to, is the more emotional sides of music, the ones that when words fail, the music's going to speak, and that's the type of music that brings me in.
And it's going to bring the audience in a second, because you're going to sing a little bit of 2 songs that you're releasing that are, you can tell they're so deep, they're so beautiful, and they've got meaning behind it. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But on this show, I like to help aspiring, whether it's entrepreneurs or young people now, or even older people that are aspiring to do something, maybe in the music industry, or maybe in something they've always wanted to be an artist or photographer, and they're just wanting, maybe it's too late, or how do I get that break? Been dreaming about it for so long. So tell us where you are right now in your journey, because you're still young and just launching, which is fantastic. So I really want you to talk to like the young people, the high schoolers, or maybe the moms would be listening because they might have a high schooler that wants to pursue, music or an instrument. Tell us where you are now, what your big break was. Like, what is your biggest aha moment? Like, this is where really the rubber hit the road, where I could have quit or something could have gone wrong, but I didn't. So tell us about where you are right now, and a little bit about maybe what could have stopped you and didn't.
Well, basically where I'm at right now, I would definitely say we got a lot of good things up and coming and going. I just released 2 singles. TheseFourWalls was my first one, and Lady was my second one. And then March 19th, I'll have my third one drop, which is Proud of Who I Am. And then I also had partnered with North Star Apparel and Design out of Rice, Minnesota for a merch shop. So we do have merch available on all my social medias. Right now we have hoodies and T-shirts, but we are in the process of getting more made.
Do they say anything on them? Is it
yes, ma'am. It has my logo, my Daniel Mock logo. You can find it on a lot of my social medias. You'll see the little design where it has the upside down triangle, and it has Daniel Mock on it.
Oh, wonderful. So the fans can have the merch. I love that. Well, I'm going to have to go do some shopping. So should have had that on today. I missed that opportunity. We'll do it again. Well, that's good. So let me ask you this. Are you a signed artist now? Or are you still hoping to get signed by, record label?
Yes, ma'am. It's definitely an option. I am right now. I'm signed with a distribution label, Aurally Records, out of Portland, Oregon. Mary Noblock is over it. I signed with her, I want to say, about, I think in 2020, maybe 2021, I'd done a deal with her to do distribution for me to help get my music out. Okay. And she's been, when it comes to helping me build me in my career and get me ready for those big opportunities like that, if a label does want to reach out, she has truly been there all the way with me, and definitely been a good mentor in my life whenever it comes to the music industry.
So how did you find her? A lot of my audience likes to know, okay, how are these dots connected? So you're talking about this distribution person that you really love. That's a big help. That is a big key piece to later, hopefully getting signed, all that stuff. So how did you go about meeting her? You're in Alabama. You're sitting in high school, playing the guitar, doing stuff. So how do you meet this big connection?
The big connection of how I met Mary was actually through a mutual friend that was already signed with her for her distribution. I'd met I had met that woman out in Montgomery, Alabama. She was doing a show at Jan's, and I just recently had walked in, and then we'd done a show together, and then she had introduced me to Mary over her phone, and then I talked to Mary about it. And whenever she asked me about the opportunity of what it could be, I was like, "Well, I am looking to get my music out," and of course, I could have went with DistroKid or something like that. But at the time, I'm still young. I'm trying to juggle around, see what's all out there, but I landed a good deal working with her and working alongside of her, having her help put my music out. I do the cover art, she does the distribution part.
Nice.
And it truly means a lot to have people like that in your corner.
Absolutely. So, would you agree then it's part of networking, like being out doing what you're
Exactly.
passionate about and letting the cards fall where they may?
Yes, ma'am. 100%.
Do you also agree something that comes up a lot on this show is that getting those big breaks, those times that these pieces connect, is when it's like that perfect timing when you're in the right place, meet the right person, but with the right preparation. Do you feel that preparation piece is a big piece? And how did you prepare for that moment in time?
I can agree to that 100% and say that it is about preparation, because you want to be ready for everything and anything that is presented your way or that comes your way, because opportunity is always out there. And the best way that I've found out about it was I had to face my fears. I had to get out and start meeting people. I had to go out, and that's what it was. It's mainly about networking. And that's what I can tell to a lot of artists, that if you're looking to go to Nashville, that's what it is. It's networking. Also, like, if
Mm.
you want to play at places, feel free to network with other artists out there, because the way that when I was up in Tennessee, never met anybody that was mean or anything. Every artist that was out on Broadway, they were like family, and that's what I considered them, because we're all in the same category. And that's the one thing that I can tell people is, if you're also looking to go up there to do that, that's 100% a good idea, because you'll meet so many people who's doing the same thing that you're trying to do. But it's just amazing to network and collaborate with them to actually see how really kind that people can be up there.
That's so good to hear because back in my day in show business, I'm from New York City and in show business and TV and movies and soap operas, it wasn't always a nice place to be. There wasn't that camaraderie. It was dog eat dog and, everybody out for themselves and who you knew and a whole lot of other stuff. And it's so good to hear now that maybe it's just in the country music is more friendly. I know Nashville, and it seems like country music people are more family and more, come
Yeah.
on, let me teach you what I know. So what was your fear? You said you had that fear, but you did it anyway. What was that fear that that could have held you back, but you didn't let it? What were you
I think
afraid
the one fear that holds me back, but could also be the thing that holds a lot of other people back, is the fear of doubting themselves of what they're actually truly capable of. Because the one thing that I've learned and come to acknowledge is, if you have that faith and that belief that you can make it happen, and you keep that faith and belief that it is going to happen, as long as you keep that faith and you keep pushing farther and keep going, because it's trials and tribulations that.
Oh, I think you froze up. No, I think you froze. Don't go anywhere. Come right back. Okay, well, we got you back. Sorry for that little glitch. I know technology. Oh my gosh. So welcome back. Anyway, we were talking about fear and what could have stopped you. So what was that piece of fear you said, I was afraid, but I did it anyway. What was that one piece of fear that you did have?
I think the one fear that I truly had was that it was all in self doubt.
Mm.
It was all thinking about, well, what if it doesn't happen? What if I can't make it? And the way that I just looked at it is, life has a funny way of working out, and the way that I've always put it in me of having my faith is that everything will work out in the way that it needs to be. When the time is right, those actions that need to be taken in your life will come forth, and it all dictates with your consciousness of how bad do you want to go after that and pursue that. But when the opportunities come, that they will come at the right time.
It reminds me of
And
the scripture that, put your hand to do and God will bless it. And I always say our part is we have to put our hand to do. Otherwise, he has nothing to bless. We can't sit home and
exactly.
just say, thank you, God, for making me a great singer or musician. I love music, but never go out and pursue and be willing to be rejected, be willing to go down those roads because nobody's immune to going down, getting rejected or trying and getting rejected. It's got to be part of the deal, especially in the entertainment industry. Got to, develop that thick skin. So, and you've only just begun. So there's a lot of good and a lot of, negative coming, and just keep on going. And I feel that because you have such good, strong faith, you will be on the long road, that, you'll enjoy it. You're in it for the right reasons, and you can really inspire a lot of people because you're not just in it for that big, I want to make it to the top, rich and famous and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. You've got a story to tell, and you want to help people, better their day through your music. And that's beautiful. And that'll never go out of style. So good for you. Well, on that note, I want people to hear your music because that's what really also drew me to you. Is your music is so powerful. It's sensitive. It's got stories
Thank you.
behind it, and your voice is just gorgeous. So tell us about the first one we're going to hear. You're going to sing the first verse and the chorus to get a sampling, and then I've got your social media down here for them to follow you on social media as well. So tell us about These Four Walls.
TheseFourWalls is a song that I wrote a couple months back whenever I was in the state of Louisiana touring with a band called Undivided Band. And basically, this was the time that I was going through self-isolation. I really didn't go out into the public eye much. And I mainly just stayed in the room and looked at four walls and was either writing, listening to music, or just vibing, like listening to music. And the way that it came to me was the title come to, I looked around and I was like, well, what's in this room? I said, These Four Walls. I said, okay, that gives me an idea. So I took that and I started coming up with it, making a melody on the guitar and everything. And then I just kind of wrote what I felt at the need that I need to speak. It just flowed out and came whenever I was writing. And it's basically a song that targets four walls, basically. And the first one's faith. The second one is mental health. The third one is battles with addiction and recovery. And the fourth one is war. It was just basically all about what's going on in the world today.
Wow. Okay, we're going to hear a sample. Did you say the fourth one was what? War?
Yes, ma'am.
War. Okay. Wow, how profound. I'm really excited for you to play a little bit of this. And my other question, I was thinking, I'm so excited to hear your song again. Do you create both the lyrics and the music, or do you do one or the other?
I do all the songwriting myself and the music.
Wow, gosh, so talented. All right. Well, without any further ado, These Four Walls, give us a sampling. Daniel Muck, let's do it.
Well, the bottom of the dream, what's one more little thing's gonna hurt? The heart, another break. Damn, these days I've been sinking quite too deep. In these four walls that are enclosed around me, mentally I'm restless, torn and tired inside. Behind these four walls, it's where he saved me. Another lost city be found. A kid, mother, father who's going through it now. God, we got war instead of world peace. And looking for much love. Please sing your voice. Trapped behind the four walls.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Tell everyone how they can hear the actual song, how they can, what do they buy the single? They listen to it. Tell us how that works these days.
Well, it's available on all streaming music platforms. You can find it by searching Daniel Mock. It'll pop up. I have that along with some covers before I actually got into the studio that I done. But you can find it all on that. You can find it and post it on your stories through TikTok, through Instagram, Facebook. If you go in the search bar for like music and you post on your stories, you can find it on there as well by searching Daniel Mock and TheseFourWalls.
I love that. I love that. I know it's Daniel Mock Music on Instagram. What is it on TikTok? Because that's your main platform.
TikTok is Daniel Mock Music. That's kind of what all my categories are, is Daniel Mock Music. I've been having for the past couple of years, I've been having fake accounts that's been trying to scam people out of their money, and I have to tell them constantly, time after time, that hey, that's not me. If it don't say Daniel Mock Music, just that direct handle, if it has any other letters or any other numbers, it is not me.
Yeah, people have to be very cautious of that. I get a lot of people, trying to text me, and I know it's not my friend. I know it's not them. I'm seeing all this stuff. So hopefully I think we're all more alert and in tune to that. But you're making it when somebody's trying to imitate you. So that's a plus. All right, tell us about the other one. You got another beautiful song out called Lady. And this one I have not heard yet, so I'm excited to hear this one, but I love the premise because you just told me a little bit about it before we started this interview. So tell us about Lady and the inspiration for Lady.
Well, Lady is a song my buddy Timmy McAdams wrote back in 2003. I met him in 2020 around Christmas time, and he had basically showed me this song that he had originally written for one of his girls that he was with, and he basically he gave me the blessing to put it out because he really wanted to see the song go somewhere. And I told him, without a shadow of a doubt, I'll do my best to make that happen. And it to me, it's basically a song dedicated to women's mental health and trauma, because through life, women go through a lot of things when it comes to trauma experiences, a lot with men. And I'm not just taking sides for the women on this. I'm just saying that's what the song relates to.
You're on the right show for women. More women watching.
But I mean, it's such a beautiful song because it's more like a lullaby and a ballad that kind of repeats the chorus and the verse, but it gets stuck in your head the more you hear it, because you just think, lady, and that's the main part. But it's basically just that song that targets the mental health. It's dedicated to the woman to reassure her that the man's always going to be there for her whenever she's having doubts or trauma responses that she thinks that it's all going to go wrong, and he's just there to nurture her and care about her and reassure her that he's not going anywhere.
What, before you sing this song, and if you feel led to sing the whole thing, feel free. But what woman in your life has inspired you? Do you have any? I'm sure you do, but tell us, do you have these special ladies in your life, moms, sisters, girlfriends in your life that are special to you? Give them a shout out, because it's important. We have family and friends that, help us through life.
I would definitely say my mom for sure, because she's been there since day one. And also my fiance.
Fiance, woo! What's her name?
Ashley.
Ashley. Well, shout out to Ashley. Shout out to your mom. What's your mom's name?
Linda.
All right. Well, as you go and sing Lady, we've got Linda and Ashley right here. This one's for you and for all us ladies out there. Again, Daniel, you're on the right show. This is mainly watched by thousands and thousands of women around the world. So let's do this. Daniel Mock sing his version of Lady.
Lady, this life can sometimes get you down and take your heart, tear it all apart. But on this night, you're such a beautiful girl with a brand new world I can never. So I said, this life can sometimes get you down and take your heart, tear it all apart. But on this night, you're such a beautiful girl with a brand new world I can never. I said,
Wow, that was beautiful. You're right, that lady is catchy. I can't sing it, but it's catchy. Oh, so beautiful. Wow. Tell us again before we close up. I want you to give us a little bit of inspiration. Tell us where again we can get all of these songs. Is it's Daniel Mock Music everywhere or Daniel Mock Music
almost
Lady?
on my social media, it's Daniel Mock Music but for anything music related like YouTube, Deezer, Apple Music, Spotify, it's just Daniel Mock, and you can find my profile by just looking up Daniel Mock or Daniel Mock TheseFourWalls. You can click on it and go to more songs, and it'll take you to all the stuff. I have covers on there from when I first started out recording
awesome.
on BandLab to about 2 singles out right now that's fully done and produced.
Well, as I'm listening to you, I have to ask this question. You know, my daughter is a singer, and we've done, or she's done, I haven't done, she's done some of the reality shows, America's Got the American Idol, things like that. What is your feeling about going on to maybe America's Got Talent or I think American Idol, things like that? Is that a path you want to take? I mean, you're just phenomenal.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that. I've been trying out for American Idol, The Voice, and all that since 2016. And the last time I tried out was 2021. No, I take that back. 2022, around Christmas time I did.
Okay.
And that's when I done it virtual with The Voice. And I got past the first round through virtual because the lady was amazed that I could go from Cover Me Up, that was redone by Morgan Wallen, originally Jason Isabel, and then go to Prince, Purple Rain.
Oh.
So she sent me through, and the second round didn't last that long. I was told I'd get an email back within a couple of weeks. I knew it was going to take a little bit longer, probably because I know shows like that, they stay constantly busy.
Oh,
So it was
yeah.
more of a patient wait game. And the only thing they told me differently from what I've always been told on there was they told me that I had an outstanding voice, a really, truly outstanding voice. I just wasn't what the voice was looking for at the time. And the way that I looked at that, I didn't get discouraged about it. I didn't get butthurt or upset about it. I just looked about, well, I've been doing this so many times, and I understand that there's that mentality saying that keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, because you'll make it. But then sometimes I look at it like, do I kind of need it? Do I kind of need to keep trying that, or do I just need to try and step out on faith and do it on my own? Like, keep pushing. And I'm not knocking the way of doing it, to go on those shows and do it, because allow that's up to anybody's decision to do what they would 100% love to do. But I mean, that's like the thing, like that's how I did, was I built my social media through networking and marketing myself and my brand on TikTok. TikTok is one of the most heavy influenced apps right now that I truly believe that if you're looking to start anything business related, network related, TikTok is the honest way to go, because it's what's hot right now.
It really is. And, I've been in show business pretty much all my life. And just because you're not what they're looking for this time doesn't mean the next time or the next time. There's people that try out 10 times in a row, and sometimes on that 10th time, now it is what they're looking for whatever reason. Because, they get this melting pot of talent that comes in, and you're just the right fit this time. You're the same person, the same, talent, everything, but it's now the right fit. So if you want to go down that road, don't ever stop, try, but don't stop doing your own thing, which is what my advice is. I always wanted to win an Oscar or an Emmy. I always wanted to be a rich and famous actress when I was little growing up in New York City. That was my little girl dream. Who would think that it came true when I was 48, because I created my own television show. We didn't have that option back in the 70s and the 80s. But in this decade, this century, we did have that option. I was able to do that, and then my dream came true. So I'm all for keep making your own path. And if you want to have the icing of let's just give it a whirl again, when your whole life isn't hanging on, I've got to get discovered by The Voice, or I have to have that agent, then sprinkle it all out there. Throw the spaghetti against the wall, see which one fits, and never stop trying. What do you got to lose? The only thing that is, I know that musicians are very careful of these days, is those contracts. Be careful, because they're, I don't know, I'm not going to say it on the air, but just have to be careful anytime you sign anything. So I'm glad you're trying. I'm glad you're out there. I'm glad that you're putting a lot of it out there for people to see you in all different places. And I truly believe too that this day and age, social media can blow up anybody. I mean, in a good way, that there's so much talent being discovered now on TikTok, on an Instagram.
Exactly.
And I think that's wonderful, because it can be used for such good. And we know it can be used for bad. But in this scenario, it's a good thing. So keep it up. Hope everybody keeps on following you. You're putting it out there all the time, which I love. So as we close up, Daniel, what are your words to the audience that are listening, that they need some inspiration? Maybe the pandemic got them down. Maybe they haven't bounced back yet. Maybe they're thinking they've tried out for reality and they never get in, or they don't make it, or they're over 40 and they're trying to really make some of their dreams come true. Give them a piece of advice that you'd like for them to take with them for their life.
The piece of advice that I can give for everybody to take their life who's tuning in and listening is know and understand in life that you are going to hear no's a lot. It's just part of life. It's the way the world is nowadays. And that doesn't, just because somebody tells you no does not mean you're not capable of making extraordinary and amazing things happening. The one thing that I always follow through is never judge a book by its cover, because you can have somebody over here that looks like the full package, but that can go up there and do it and do the job, but you may have somebody that looks unqualified That's why I say never judge a book by its cover, because you may have somebody that looks unqualified for that position that can actually do that position 1,000 times better, or do this 1,000 times better than that person ever thought. And I'm not saying it's a competition thing, but that's the way I see that the world does look at a lot of things. And in my category, I'm not here to do it for the competition. It's life's not a competition to me. Um, Understand when making life choices, especially like you said with the contract. I won't get too much into it, but 100%. Anytime you do a contract, make sure you have a lawyer with you at all times during stuff like that, and nothing for bad reasons, just to help proofread and read over the contract, make sure there may not be anything that you missed in there or anything.
Yeah.
As well as you're going to go through a lot of trials and tribulations in life, of high moments and a lot of low moments, but never let those low moments discourage you, because before something amazing happens, and this has always been my go-to, before something amazing happens, there's always going to be a tower moment. There's always going to be something that shakes up to where you may feel like, oh, I can't do it, I can't do this, or this isn't going right, my finances aren't going right. I know with the mind, it is very hard because stress is real, very heavily. But the one thing that I've learned is always keep that faith and keep that belief, because remembering all those low moments that you had before this low moment that you're going through right now, if you may be going through one, you may look back at all those other low moments in life that you went through. You may have stressed about it then, but realize and understand that you got through it somehow, some way, in way, shape, or form. You got through that low moment. And that's the best thing that I can always tell people, is keep that faith and keep that belief that even in hard times, even though you hear people tell you no, all it takes is that one person to see you that may have a higher power here on this earth. They may look at you and be like, that's the person. That's the person for this. That's the person for that. You
Amen.
just have to keep pushing forward, and through the right time, God will align your life with the right people that need to come into your life.
Yeah, it reminds me of a story I heard. I don't remember where, but I do a lot of inspirational events and things like that. And I remember one speaker said this, and it really hit home, especially me as a mom, and your mom will be able to relate to this too. And someday you'll be a dad, and it makes more impactness, because we want so much to help our kids more than we want to help ourselves, right? And we just want to help
Exactly.
them through that tough time, and it breaks our heart when they're struggling. And I remember a speaker talked about the butterfly, and the butterfly going from a caterpillar in the cocoon and coming out of the cocoon. And if you see a butterfly struggling to get out of the cocoon, you should not help it out, because if you try to help that butterfly out to make it easier for them, they will die when they get out of the cocoon, because they need to build those muscles as they break out of the cocoon in order to be able to fly. Otherwise,
Exactly.
they will die. And I think about that. I don't know why that one just hit me really hard one day, because I guess as a mom, you just so want to help them out of that cocoon all through life. I have a daughter who's in her 30s and one who's just a teenager. And when they go through something, you just want to make it all better. And I always step back and say, no, they've got to build those life muscles, because someday I won't be here, and they've got to have those muscles. And God loves
Exactly.
them more than I do. So on that note, how important is your faith in all of this?
Exactly. And that's one thing that you have to look at it. You just have to keep that strong head and that strong mind that this person's going to tell you no. The next person may tell you no. It may be like that for years of your life, but it's not always going to be like that as long as you put the dedication and the hard work in. Because that's what it is. It's a very up and
Journey,
down hill going
journey.
at, and that journey especially, and that's through any career in
It
life of what you're
is.
going for. That's through any career in life, and you have to learn as you grow older. For me, the one thing that I've realized most about my life is at a young age, my inner child got silenced. But now
Hmm.
looking back to then to now, through all the traumas that I went through, depression, anxiety, overthinking, is that as you grow older and you get stronger because you face so many trials and tribulations, you become your future self is who your inner child needed this whole time along. You become
Wow.
the person that you needed through your life when you was going through all those hard times. And it happens through the years of progressing and growing as a person, because you start learning. Some people do it, some people may not. But the way that I've done it, as I've gotten older, I take time to look and reflect at life and look at the things that I may have trauma response to, like what's something negative in my life that I can get away from, that I can take away. And it may not be all at once. It has to be layers. You have to shed old skin in order to grow. And just like with the caterpillar effect that it was saying, in order for that cocoon, you may not have that success of having someone come in and may want to help you. You may have to do it on your own. But as that cocoon starts opening and comes out, you have this beautiful light at the end and this beautiful butterfly, like he was saying, that comes out. And it's just all about with the trials and tribulations. The way that I look at the cocoon is the cocoon, in my type of view, when the caterpillar's in the cocoon, that is everything in life. And I'm not going to say this is for everybody, but family, friends, relatives, anything, strangers may sit there and talk negative. Oh, you need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this.
Or
You
get a
need to
real
do that.
job, right? Get a real job.
And the thing that I love to tell people is take that with a grain of salt. Like, yes, take some criticism because you need to have some sort of financially stability. Me, I'm hard-headed. I just do music and marketing and social media stuff. But I stay hard and consistent of it, that I kind of make an income that helps me. But the way that I tell people is, when it comes to that, you have to keep pushing forward, keep going, because this right here, the cocoon that's holding you back, that's you in your comfort zone. You have to break out of your comfort zone in order to soar, in order to fly. You have to be able to take risks. And that's one, and the risk that I'm talking about is you may have to leave family behind to go chase your dreams. And I'm not saying leave them behind forever, but you may have to leave that place that you're living at or currently residing at to go chase after those dreams. And the best thing that I can say and do is, if you're young, do it now.
But I'm always young, Daniel. How young? What is young?
Well, not meaning it in that way. Not meaning it in that way.
I know.
But like people around and it's even older people, because it's like I tell people.
How old are you, Daniel? Are you still in your 20s?
Yes, ma'am. I'm 24.
You're 24. You are so deep and so already wise at your age. Your mama must be so proud. Just saying. Oh my gosh. And not everybody has a supportive family, like you're saying. And sometimes you have to break away from the people closest to you. Sometimes you don't. You know, I'm in the show business arena, always have been. So for my daughters to be in anything, when I'm right there with them, their biggest cheerleader, let's go. But not everybody has that. So, and like I was saying earlier, it's sometimes your family and friends, they love you so much. They're thinking, what's your plan B? Have that, you know, go out and get a real job, that this is a pipe dream. If they're not familiar with the industry, that there's ways to do this and there's ways to make your own path, especially now with, you know, social media that we didn't have, you know, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And I tell people, Google success stories that took a long time to make. Those Mark Victor Hansons that got 250 rejections before Chicken Soup for the Soul was accepted. You know, the J.K. Rowlings with Harry Potter, how many times she was rejected and she was living in her car, single mom with her kids in the car when she's writing that. So you can Google now inspiration when you're thinking, oh my gosh, I just can't do it another day. Yes, you can, but be proactive and seek out those stories of inspiration that are people that have made it. And if they can do that much, how much more can you do? Even a little farther, you know? So good for you being so young, so wise. I really appreciate that, because me being an older person, harder to tell the young people to say, stick with it. You're doing it and I love it. So what do you hope your legacy is, Daniel?
Well, my legacy, I just hope to leave behind is always be kind, always show respect to anybody and everybody. Even if they don't appreciate your respect, still be that bigger person and show that respect, because later on at some point in life, they're going to look back and be like, man, I could have been a lot nicer to this person. And that's the one message that I'm trying to spread everybody is we got so much crime going on. We got so many murders going on. We got so many of this going on. So much this chaos in the world.
And never
You
stop.
don't you exactly, and regardless of what you go through life, um, because just as anyone, I do have that dark past that I went through as life and a kid and growing up with life experiences. But I'm not going to harp too much on that.
You've got a
I
lot more
mean,
songs to write, Daniel. A lot more songs
exactly.
to write. Who will be the least surprised when you make it big? Who will be the least surprised?
I don't know.
I don't even know her, and I'm thinking probably your mom will probably not be surprised. Am I right? Do you think she'll be surprised, or she
Yeah,
knows?
could be.
Could be. Maybe your fiance. Somebody in your life know who's your biggest amen corner that knows that you're going to make it or not quit. You're going to, I don't want to say die trying, but you're going to make some level of success with this. Who's going to be the most proud, the most like, I knew you could do it right now? Who's that amen make for you? Besides me, I already know. So I'll take the job. This job.
I would have to say my fiance and my mother.
Perfect. It's always the ladies. That's why I love that song, Lady. You have some good women behind you. Well, I'm glad. They've got the work cut out for them. And my last question is for you. How important is prayer in your life? This is not necessarily a Christian show, but everybody knows I just love the Lord, and everything I do I'm just a walking miracle. And you seem to be that way, where you have such a deepness to you. Is faith and prayer important to you? And leave us with a word of hope for that.
One thing that I can definitely say with that is faith and prayer is 100% religiously definitely something in my life, and I can definitely be upfront and honest with it. I'm not the type of person who truly prays on their hands and knees. A lot of the ways that, because I'm still learning, even in thing, I'm very religious and I'm a God-fearing man. But through life, I've learned with the trials and tribulations that a lot of my praying that I have come to acknowledge has come from the ones that go unheard from the public but are seen behind closed doors, and that's through a lot of tears that come through. That is a one topic of prayer that definitely truly gets heard, is when words can't come out and speak and you can't say it. The only thing you can do is let your heart speak through the flow of the tears. And I've looked as that. But there's many ways to do it. As when it comes to it, you can pray by writing down your prayers. Just write them down. You can
your music is like a prayer. Your lyrics are like a prayer. I remember when I had a chemo, and I was very ill. With the chemo almost killed me in 1999, and I was so violently ill, and I was in the bathroom just throwing up 18 times a day and just lose 10 pounds overnight. I mean, I was wasting away. Not the diet that I wanted. I always wanted to lose more weight. That wasn't the way to do it. And I remember being wrapped around the toilet bowl in those moments, and they'd already taken out my vocal cord nerve, so I could barely speak anyway. And I remember just not even being able to verbalize, but I'd be praying, help. I didn't know how he was going to help me. I didn't know what to pray for. I had no energy. I mean, I was like at this door because of the chemo. And I just remember like daily just saying help. And God knows the help you need. He
exactly,
knows what you need next. And here I am 24 years later, and my whole life taking this wonderful turn because of that. But there's times if you don't have to be on your knees in a proper position. You can be lying on the floor behind a toilet bowl, or you can be on Skid Row under a bridge. It doesn't matter. You can be in a mansion on a in front of a golden throne and still just need help. And so I just think you're so inspirational, Daniel. I'm so glad you came on the show. Love having you. I want to have you back. I want to follow your career because I'd like to join your mom and your fiance as the Amen team for Daniel Mock Music, because I know you're going to be there. I expect an invitation to the Grammys and to the Country Music Awards when that happens. So just remember me. We're recording this now. I absolutely adore you, Daniel. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody will follow you. Daniel Mock Music. Follow him on TikTok. Get his music. Go to Spotify, wherever you get your music from. Daniel, thank you so much for being here. We're not done with you. You've got such a bright, shiny future ahead of you. And I can't wait to hear more of your music.